Hey guys, welcome back to Clash with Corey. Thanks for coming to hang out with me today. Right now we're going to be talking about the fastest method to farm your account to max in 2019 in Clash of Clans, so let's get into that right now.
Nerf this!
So as you guys can see, I'm on my mini Town Hall 10 account right now, and I made the decision recently that I want to just really, first of all, max the 10, but I don't want to stop there. I want to keep going. Town Hall 11, max it. Honestly, I would love to make this count a Town Hall 12 because I don't have a Town Hall 12 and I want a Town Hall 12. Haven't done any farming for a long time, but when I did do it, I was very fast at it, very efficient. So I'm going to share those tips and tricks with you guys. I've already been roaring through it, guys. I've got like 6 hero levels over, I don't know, last week or something like that, maybe more. I mean, I'm roaring through it. And now, of course, the clan game rewards help, the medals help, although I'm not using medals. I'm saving those for when I get up to Town Hall 11 so I can be, somewhat useful immediately. But anyways, I'm going to start sharing these tips with you guys, how to get this done fast. And first one I'm going to give you guys, honestly, it doesn't even have to do with an attack to use. It is, when you're farming, turn on the TV because farming is boring. And if you're just sitting there staring at the screen, you're probably going to attack a base that you shouldn't be attacking, one that doesn't have enough loot or one that's too hard. Whereas if you're watching TV while you're sitting there farming, you're going to be more patient. You're going to be watching the TV until you see a monster base, tons of loot. So watch some TV. That way you can do prolonged farming for a long time. That way you're not, hitting bases that you shouldn't be hitting in the first place. So that's tip number one. Now, tip number two is do not use what you need. Most of the time we need Dark Elixir. All right, that is the most valued resource in the game, the most scarce. And so if you're looking for Dark Elixir to max your royals or your dark troops or whatever, don't use armies that use Dark Elixir. Look at this Dragbat army in army number 2. That thing uses 1930 Dark Elixir. So if I go out and get 5,000 Dark Elixir with it, I'm really only getting 3,000, and that's not what I'm going for, guys. Look at the army right above it. Army number 1 uses 0 Dark Elixir. This is an excellent example of an army, and the previous army used up top as well, 0 Dark Elixir. Now, worth noting, I do bring poison with these minor armies because sometimes something pops out of the CC. Not very often, but sometimes it does. So with that, let's get into some of these attacks while I share with you guys the next 3 tips that I have. And yeah, let's get into it. There we go. Boom. All right, we're gonna start right down here. Actually started using this one recently. Look at this. This is a Town Hall 11, severely underdeveloped Town Hall 11. But here, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the P.E.K.K.A. and the King on one side just to start cutting in that side of the funnel a little bit. And I'm going to use a Queen and only 2 healers on the other side. How do you get away with the Queen Walk with only 2 healers, you might ask? Well, you gotta get your miners in there pretty quickly. See, she's already cut in like 1 or 2 buildings, and I'm already getting miners in there. Those miners are gonna help tank for her while she's moving around the base and allow her to get through this base with only 2 healers. So nice little trick there. If you wait too long with the miners, you're gonna have to pop your Queen ability too early, and she's gonna go down pretty early in the raid. On this one, honestly, I was targeting that Eagle Artillery. He had great loot. I knew that I had a chance on it if I could get that Eagle Artillery down soon, but honestly, guys, normally I'm not trying to loot Town Hall 11s as a Town Hall 10. A lot of times that can be a recipe to fall short and not get your goals, but since this base was so underdeveloped, ended up working out just fine on this one. Gonna come up with some fat loot on it, honestly. So, tip number 3, those green potions, the troop and everything speed up training potions, those are amazing. Those are a farmer's best friend. Back when I originally pushed my Town Hall 10 heroes to max, those were not even a thing yet. Those are pure gold. Honestly, every time those pop up in the shop for those 25 gems, bro, if you spend your gems on one thing in this entire game, those green potions are the way to go. Massive value for 25 gems, or you get them in the clan games. But anytime I sit down to farm and I know I'm gonna have enough time to do some farming, throw on a TV show, pop one of those little green potions, and boom, I'm hitting base after base after base. after base, and you know, you can rack up so many resources, so much loot so fast like that. So little green potion is tip number 3. That thing is your best friend. If you only spend gems on one thing in this whole game, that is the way to go. So we're gonna fast forward through this a little bit. Since this base has such low level defenses, my queen is actually gonna finish this raid almost, it's gonna be like a 99%. All right, which brings me into my next point. Guys, it doesn't matter if you win your farming raids. I mean, you get some bit of loot bonus, you know what I mean? But if you see something, some great value in a base, and you can just send in a few troops to get it, go for it. It's not about trophies, at least not for me. I certainly do not care about trophies, not even a little bit. But the loot, I do care about quite a lot. So let's go and check out this next one here. So there you go. Doesn't matter if you win. Just matters if you get the loot. Look at this one right here. Going in another Town Hall 11. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize did another one of these. But I'm going to get some great loot out of it, you know? So that brings us into our last tip on farming, is going to be drop leagues if you need to. Honestly, I'm getting up too high. Too high for looting. I would like to be, gosh, what is this? Champions? I would like to be down in Masters League, ideally, for looting at Town Hall 10. Honestly, if you drop all the way down to Crystal League, you're going to find massive loot bases. Massive loot bases. Just dead bases with 700,000 of everything, or 900,000. I mean, you'll find way bigger ones down there. I mean, sure, your star bonus or you know, loot bonus for getting some stars on the base is going to be smaller at lower leagues, but usually the amount of loot that you can find in those lower leagues offsets the amount that you lose from those bonuses by quite a bit usually. So honestly, I'm up too high for where I like to loot, and the best way to drop leagues down is just drop your queen in the corner of a base and immediately press end attack. That way, you know, she's still full health, nothing's hit her yet, and your whole army is immediately ready to go again. You know, and while you're going through doing that, it's nice to have a full army ready to go, because sometimes when you're trying to drop leagues, you'll run into a monster base, and you don't want to have, you know, not enough army cooked and and see a monster base. So usually when I'm dropping down leagues, I try to have a full army ready. That way, in case I do find a monster just on accident while trying to drop leagues, then still. So look at that Town Hall 11. You know, I mean, I guess I won the attack technically, got a star on it, but I really don't care about that at all. Look at the loot: 600,000, 590, 500,000 dark. Yes, there's bigger scores than that, but honestly, I'm gonna have to drop down to a lower league to find that sort of loot. So this is the army that I like to use, the one that I've been showing you guys with those 2 healers on the queen, P.E.K.K.A. King. Honestly, I just added the P.E.K.K.A. in there recently, but the best thing about miners, and I love miners, I think they are absolutely the best looting troop in the game. That is what I do all my looting with, is miners. They're amazing. And the amazing thing that I love about miners is the fact that if your heroes are down, you can still do this attack. Obviously, you're not going to bring the healers. Please don't bring the healers if you don't have a queen, or if your queen's not very high level, don't bring the healers. Look at that top army, the one under previous. That's where you're going to live. Use 2 baby dragons, 1 on either corner to cut in the side of the funnel, all the miners in between, and then you heal them as they go. Just try and catch, you know, the splash damage with those heals, or any heavy areas of damage, and then the rage can come down in an area where you have a whole ton of HP or a lot of damage coming in to get them through that section a lot faster. Let's do one more raid here. And I was like throwing out CC requests for ground troops and poison. I love having 2 poisons on this raid, because sometimes something comes out of that clan castle. Honestly, lower leagues, not very often at all. That's why I just bring 2 poisons just in case. Double poison, whatever comes out. Really the only thing that you're going to commonly find in these CCs that's not going to be dying to a poison or double poison is going to be a big dragon. But they're so slow, even if it's a big dragon and you keep your troops healed up, you're going to get your loot anyways. You know, probably not going to triple that base, but who cares? It's farming. So there you guys have it. That's what I use for looting right now. And once again, low level heroes, or both your heroes down, you can still get massive loot with miners. That's the strategy I used to bring my heroes from 10-10 way back in the day, super rush Town Hall 10 at one point, with 10-10 heroes, and brought them all the way up to 40-40, you know, in a matter of gosh, I don't know. They didn't have books back then. They didn't have medals or anything like that. So it took me, probably the better part of a year, and heroes were upgrading all the time. Usually both heroes. I mean, took a long time to get there, but it was just straight looting, and that was miners. 2 baby dragons, and the rest miners in between. And even if you don't you're probably not gonna triple most of these bases without heroes. A lot of times you will with heroes. Doesn't matter. This is farming. You go after the loot, you get the loot. Nothing else matters. I don't care about trophies. Don't care about tripling farm bases. I just want that loot. That's all I'm looking for when I'm farming, and that's all you guys should really worry about too. I mean, you're either farming your account up to max or you're trophy pushing or something, And right now we're talking about the fastest, most effective method to farming. So turn on the TV. That way you don't get bored and impatient, so you start attacking bases that don't have good enough loot. Don't use Dark Elixir in your army if that's what you're going for. If you got max royals and you're just trying to max walls, then use a Dark Elixir army, because what else are you going to use Dark Elixir for? Use mostly bowlers and golems, or something to that effect. Try and use as much Dark Elixir as possible if you're just trying to get gold or elixir, and vice versa. Don't use what you're looting for, and you're gonna have a lot more net resources. All right, tip number 3, that little green potion is amazing. Try it, buy it, use it. Best thing that ever happened to farming right there. Tip number 4, drop leagues if needed. Right now I'm in way too high of a league to be farming at Town Hall 10. As soon as we get done with this, I'm going to farm some more, and I'm going to drop down leagues by dropping my queen in a corner and immediately pressing in, losing those trophies until I get down at least to masters, mid-masters. Should be able to find some great loot there. And number 5, doesn't matter if you win, get the loot. Don't worry about tripling bases, trophy pushing, because this isn't a trophy pushing video. I will never do a trophy pushing video. This is about looting, so get that loot. Be laser focused. Doesn't matter if you win, just get the loot. All right, so there's my 5 tips for you guys. And by the way, miners, best thing that ever happened to looting. Absolutely my favorite. I do all my looting with it, so just wanted to reinforce that as well. So hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one.